This is for people who can relate to not really ever feeling safe. Most of my life, I have felt unsafe. Even as a child, I didn't feel safe. My nervous system was easily rattled. I couldn't bear to watch people argue and fight. It physically made me feel sick. Sometimes it did manifest as sickness. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in the woods by myself, and I would be there for hours. People would have to come and look for me. I wasn't afraid to be there until it got dark outside, or if a thunderstorm came, I felt safe in the woods. It's really one of the few times that I ever felt safe. I always felt like a orphan my whole life. I didn't know that I was an empath. I didn't know that I was born with the ability to feel what other people are feeling, even if they don't know they're feeling it. I was born with the ability to have precognition before I could speak the words and understand. Whenever something happened, negative or positive, I felt it and I knew beforehand. I would have dreams, and in my dreams, I would experience the day that came after the night of the dream. Sometimes I had dreams that I was going to get raped and something would happen afterwards. And this happened to me so much. I got to the point of just not ever feeling safe. And it was very rare that I felt safe around people. I spent a lot of my life in the bathroom with the door locked, crying, because I was different. And I knew that I was different, and I couldn't explain it. I could not explain why. I could feel people's hidden motives and intentions. I couldn't explain why I could hear other people's thoughts and voices. I couldn't explain why I could walk into a space, and if there was tension, if something happened and I didn't even see it happen, it would like absorb into my body. And I would just be in pain. I would have headaches, night paralysis, just so many things, so many ways it would manifest. I ran away a few times throughout my life. I lived with other people. I moved in with boyfriends. If their parents would let me stay there for a little while, I lived with classmates. I was always going from one place to another, looking for a way to feel safe. And I told myself, if I survive this life, I'm going to create sacred space for other people who can relate to my story. And I'm not ashamed of that. I feel like all of those tears that I shed, all of those nights that I cried myself to sleep, I was cleansing and purifying, and not just purging myself, but I was purging people whose energy had been connected to my own. I knew this. I knew that I was a wounded healer. I knew that people felt safe with me. People would tell me things they wouldn't tell anybody else. You know, I had friends who would share things with me they wouldn't even share with their cousins and their mamas and their aunties. Like, it's been like that my whole life. But nobody else never ever made me feel safe. And I came to a conclusion that Feeling safe has to be something I learned how to cultivate inside of myself that's not dependent on anybody else. That includes God. That includes what we have been programmed to believe is God, because God did not stop any of those things from happening to me. God was very silent. A lot of times that I thought God was speaking to me, and I came to realize that it was actually the healed whole part of my soul communicating with me. I'm not saying the Creator doesn't exist. I'm saying the God that we were told to pray to did not stop some of the most horrendous things that happened to me. I spent 16 years hospitalized, almost 10 months out of the year, almost every day of each month. Sometimes I had nurses that would give me twice as much medication that was ordered, and I would be overdosed. And I would wake up in ICU. Had racist nurses. They would give me stuff that I was allergic to. Like, this shit happened to me so much. I wasn't a mean person. I wasn't nasty. I wasn't terrible to people. I groomed myself to not treat people how I had been treated. I refused to be the blueprint of the fucked up shit that I had to go through. So even in going through that, I was calm. I'm a very emotionally safe person to be connected to. And it's because I worked on myself. I never had anybody to pay bills for me, to help me. If I couldn't pay rent, I was just going to be homeless. I was just going to have to sleep in my car. If I couldn't buy food, I was just going to have to go without food. Like, this was the life this incarnation handed me. And for a long time, I felt like a victim of something that I could not understand and figure out. And when I tell you, I gave my all to the church. I gave my all. I studied the Bible. I don't know nobody who can out teach the Bible. Nobody. Because for me, that was my only lifeline. I had no one else. I had nothing else. I didn't have a support system. If I fuck up, there was nobody to catch me when I failed. And if it was something that they wanted. They had a hidden motive. And so I worked on myself. I went into the abyss. I went into the void. I'm dealing with the subconscious patterns. This is a journey. No one, I don't care what guru you ever watched or any coach, life coach, whatever. I'm telling you, this is a journey, and it takes work and it takes patience. So I don't know who I'm talking to or who needed to hear this. But the space that I created that was once Remnants Gathering, that is now called New Verse Live, is to help you live a life that you actually deserve to live, a heart-led life. And everything that I create is an extension of that. It is an extension of that energy. Now, I bear my scars boldly, courageously. I'm unafraid, and I don't give a fuck what nobody think or say about me, because that's not any of my business. My business is what I say about me and how I treat me. And the love that I put in myself is what's going to be imprinted on anything that I do. So if you are watching this and this resonates with you, whether you are an empath, a wounded healer, or just someone that you know you never fit in because you're meant to stand out, tap into whatever programs and courses I have. Book a reading with me. Like, I'm willing to go into those deep, dark, painful places with you so that you can turn your pain into purpose. I just wanted to share that because I know I'm not the only one. And I'm proof that you can thrive despite anything and anyone and any obstacle. Namaste and Namaste. One love.